Dean Ambrose, public enemy number one. Welcome back to the ACB Wrestling Talk channel, your main source for wrestling news, topics, discussions, previews, all that kind of good stuff. I am your host, Alexis Carrillo, and tonight we have another episode of Monday Night Raw, and for the first time in months and months and months, it's a little bit exciting. And all of this is not only because Dean Ambrose pulled the trigger and he finally turned on Rollins and he finally appears to be a heel and on his own, but also because you've got, yes, the very unfortunate situation of Roman Reigns leaving due to his diagnosis. That's very unfortunate. That's, nobody saw it coming, and everyone in the wrestling industry, every wrestling fan out there, I choose to believe every wrestling fan out there is rooting for Roman Reigns to beat leukemia and come back. But due to those circumstances, the entire main event scene and pretty much the entire wrestling scene that is Monday Night Raw is wide open, and we saw it last week. Number one, Dean Ambrose snapped. He turned on Rollins, and I've explained this in a video in the past. It was the perfect timing to have Dean Ambrose turn on Rollins. Nobody saw it coming. Everyone was expecting a feel-good moment to end the show after the heartbreaking news that started the show. Everybody was expecting Dean Ambrose and Rollins to win the tag team titles and to do it not only for the Shield, but to do it for Roman Reigns, and they did just that. And every single fan out there believed that's a great way to end the show, and they were going to end it. Not quite. We saw Ambrose, throw the title to the ring, to the mat, dirty deeds on Rollins, then we had him beat him up on the outside. Rollins couldn't believe it. He wasn't attacking him. He wasn't fighting back. It was kind of a similar situation to what happened at SummerSlam between Charlotte and Becky. Then we had Dean Ambrose, put the final touches on this whole situation. A dirty deeds on the concrete floor, on the exposed concrete floor. Certifying his heel turn. And, you have a lot of fans who were just not happy about this because of how the show opened and because they didn't think it was the right timing. Like I said, perfect timing. Now Ambrose is going to be one of the most hated superstars out there. And one thing to consider about this is that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins are still and brand new Raw Tag Team Champions. How is that going to work out? For all intents and purposes, they still have to defend those titles. They're still a team. Maybe not friends, maybe not Shield members, but they are still a team. They are the Tag Team Champions. So, we'll have to wait and see what happens for Raw tonight. Nia Jax prepares to get rowdy. As we saw last night at Evolution, Nia Jax last eliminated Ember Moon to win herself a Raw Women's title match. And the real question is, will she get it on Raw? Will she get it at TLC in December? Will she get it at Survivor Series in November? Or will we get a brand versus brand theme for Survivor Series once again? That's one of the questions going around. But as far as this feud and this rivalry goes, half and half. Not that excited, but I'm not underwhelmed for this feud. Their rivalry didn't end on the right note. Alexa Bliss got, she interfered in their match at Money in the Bank, causing it to be a DQ. So Ronda Rousey never actually beat Nia Jax to retain her title, I believe, retain her title. So, this match was still pending. As far as who do I think is going to come out at the end, I think there's no question about it. Ronda Rousey has to come out still with the title. Moving on, we got yet another segment involving DX and the Brothers of Destruction. You know how I feel about that. Don't really care about them wrestling. Don't really care about their match coming up at Crown Jewel. So, and, their segments are entertaining, yes. Nostalgia kicks in. They're some of the best superstars in history. They're very entertaining on the mic. So, on that part alone, I'm liking that. And by the way, I just loved how last week Triple H just put down the entire WWE roster. Everyone knows he's running things in terms of running the superstars. And he comes out and says that, nostalgia doesn't mean old. It just means that we were better. We are better. What a way to put over all your other full-time superstars that are actually in their prime. So, moving on from that segment that's leading to absolutely nothing that I care about, which is the damn match between DX and the Brothers of Destruction, which, like I've pointed out in the past, would have been cool 10 years ago, would have been amazing 15 years ago, 20 years ago, would have been awesome. So, moving on. Who's going to be the next Universal Champion? Braun Strowman or Brock Lesnar? I rue the day. I feared the day that Brock Lesnar gets a hold of that Universal title once again. I do not want that to happen. I am firmly rooting for Braun Strowman to win this match. Vince McMahon is high on both of these superstars. I believe he is more high on Brock Lesnar than he is on Strowman. I think he's probably trying to get the title back on Lesnar. But do you really want the title to disappear again? Do you really want all that fan backlash? I don't think so. And I hope they do right by Strowman and they give him the title. Strowman, who, by the way, appears to have turned babyface last week, which, like I said, things have changed on Raw, meaning that a lot of superstars have flip-flopped. They've gone from face to heel and heel to face. The top babyface spot is wide open. And now it's given to Braun Strowman, who, like I said, I'm looking forward to him winning the title and having Strowman versus McIntyre as a future feud. That would be damn interesting. So, looking forward to that. And we got last week, Elias. It appears Elias turned babyface. Like I said, a lot of stars flip-flopped last week. Scenery changed. Things got a little bit more fresh because of unfortunate circumstances, but Elias appears to now be a babyface. And one thing that really got me going, one thing that I highly enjoyed, was how he normally does, hold your applause, turn your cell phones off, and shut your mouth to the crowd. But in this case, he did that to Baron Corbin, and it kind of reminded me of how The Rock, shut people up in the ring in the past. It doesn't matter, that kind of stuff. It kind of reminded me of that, which I'm completely looking forward to. And now, seeing as Baron Corbin is the acting general manager of Raw, I know he's going to be putting things against Elias, putting things so that Elias doesn't get wins, so he gets punished for what he did, embarrassing him last week. So, and Elias, fans just love him. Every time he's in that ring, fans are looking forward to what he has to say. And it's another case of the New Day. Yes, sometimes you have the New Day and Elias always getting, the same kind of segments, and it could have gotten stale. But they're just so charismatic and so entertaining that even if it's stale, it's still entertaining. That's what I see with Elias right now. So I'm looking forward to the crowd getting behind Elias, and hopefully he gets a big push. Maybe Intercontinental Championship? Hopefully. And finally, we have the whole controversy of Crown Jewel, which is taking place on November 2nd from Saudi Arabia, to the dismay of many fans out there. But there have been reports that John Cena is not going to make the trip to Saudi Arabia, so he must be replaced tonight. And it appears Bobby Lashley is the one to be chosen to replace John Cena. That's the rumor. That Lashley's going to be the one handpicked to replace him for the World Cup. My big question is, how do you choose Lashley when Finn Balor beat Lashley last week? Instead of having, just picking someone from the roster, why not have a match between Balor and Bobby Lashley, a rematch, and the winner goes to the World Cup? Not that it matters, it's just a one-time tournament that might never come back, but still, you gotta give it a little bit more of an interesting twist. So that's the preview for tonight's episode of Raw. Tune into the USA Network so you don't miss any of it. One thing is for sure, things have changed and everything could look a lot more fresh and a lot more entertaining for the Red brand, which drastically needed it for the past 2-3 years, because out of Raw and SmackDown, Raw was clearly the worst show. So, what do you think about what's happening with Evolution? What do you think about what's happening tonight on Raw? Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions in the comments section below. If you follow wrestling news, topics, discussions, previews, all that kind of good stuff, consider subscribing. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you dislike this video, hit the dislike button. That's it for me. Till next time.